Okay, stand by. All right, segment 1, 10 minutes. Here we go.
Hey, and welcome, folks, to This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. I'm the founder and the president of the Diversity Networking Group. I'm over at the command center over here at the City FM with our host, our producer, Million Quinteros, right? Yeah, I got it right. I don't know if any of you know this, but Million is actually a Hall of Famer. That's right. He's been walking around with the Hall of Famer shirt on. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So if you're ever in, now Million, where's it at? The Hall of Fame is where?
It is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yeah. Right in the heart of the city. You'll find the Hockey Hall of Fame there. And I was commissioned to do the radio voiceover work for a film in the TSN theater called Stanley's Game 7 in 3D. He gave me in 3D.
He got you in 3D. So Million. So if people go over to the Hall of Fame, they get to actually hear you in the Hall of Fame hall.
Making wise guy comments throughout the film, and I'm in the credits, and you can see me in there as well. So I've had my listeners go check it out for me, and we have confirmation.
That is awesome. I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you, you cannot beat that. So, folks, at the production side over here at the City FM, you've got a Hall of Famer here. So if you decide you want to come work with Million,
absolutely, you're welcome here at thecityfm.com.
Well, thank you, Million. I appreciate that. Man. Hey, folks, for those of you, this might be your first time in listening to This Week on DNG Radio. It is a production of the Diversity Networking Group. We want to welcome everybody who's here on the webcam to the show also. The Diversity Networking Group meets every Thursday at 7 o'clock in the morning over at the Panera Bread. It's at 7175 West Lake Mead Boulevard. If you'd like to get a hold of us, just email me at diversitynetworkinggroup.com. That's diversitynetworkinggroup.com. diversitynetworkinggroup@gmail.com. Sorry about that. And that's just with one G. Also, on Tuesdays, we actually have what we call the EDGE training. And really what the EDGE training is all about, it's all about you, the business owner. What we're doing is we're adding some major value to you as a business owner. We do sales training, we do speaker training, we do leadership training in that. As a matter of fact, we've got a group of folks who are over in the Henderson area right now, and they're going through a speaker training module with one of our speakers for the EDGE training. His name is Jace Souter, and they are doing all kinds of fantastic things out there to develop themselves as business owners. Matter of fact, one of the guys who's a part of the Diversity Networking Group, D.W. Grant, was approached by a image consultant, and she said, "You know what? I can help you. Matter of fact, I can put some clothes on you that'll make people just want to follow you all over the place." And really, as a business owner, I think we take it for granted sometimes. We take it for granted that people are just going to love our products, and that they're going to just gobble us all up. But it's not always that way. We've actually got to make an effort. And for those of you who are looking on the webcam right now, you can probably see what I'm wearing right now. I've got the shirt on, I've got the slacks and stuff like that. And people will make a decision about you in like the first 10 seconds. And literally, the first 10 seconds of people meeting you, they'll make up their mind whether they're going to work with you or not. And so you as a business owner, you've got to do you've got to be conscious of the fact of not only your product, but your appearance and how you treat people, all that kind of stuff too. So that's what's happening with the EDGE trainings. We actually teach you all about that. Hey, well, this week in DNG Radio, we've got some things we want to talk about, especially that are specific to the Las Vegas market. And because, we live here in Las Vegas. Now, we know, Millie and I were talking about this before, we've got listeners from all over the world who listen to us. And if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, we really encourage you to follow us on Twitter, too. And you can just follow us on, I think it's at DivNet Group, DivNetGRP. Or just kind of Google it on Twitter, This Week on DNG Radio, and you'll find us on that. But I encourage you, follow us on Twitter, become part of the This Week on DNG Radio Brigade, and you can find out what's going on with us. You can download our podcasts of the shows, and we've got a bunch of them. We've had some great guests throughout the last 6 or 8 months, however long it's been that we've had the show on. So we encourage you, come on out, find us on Twitter, you can follow us on Facebook, and if you're ever in Las Vegas, come on down to Panera Bread. hang out with us down there. Hey, this week, what's been going on this week? Let me tell you. Tony Hsieh is at it again. That's right, folks. And some of you may not know who Tony Hsieh is, but I'm going to put a book up here, and that's for those of you who are looking at the webcam here. And maybe you can see that webcam. This is a culture book. Can you imagine that? Look how thick this is. It's a culture book put out by one and only Zappos. Okay, it's the Zappos 2011 culture book, and in this book, it's literally got a listing of all the people who have been working at Zappos. And you know, why do they do that? Now, they've got Christmas pictures. I'm going to show you this. They've got Christmas pictures of all the people, that kind of stuff. Interesting that they would put out a huge book like this. Literally, there's probably, gosh, I don't know, 400 pages of stuff that's going on in this book. What is so different about Tony Hsieh? Well, the thing that makes Tony Hsieh so different is he is literally, everywhere he goes, he tries to create a culture. For those of you who don't know what I mean, he came from the Henderson area. He had Zappos located in Henderson, and he decided, you know what, I want to move down to the downtown area of Las Vegas, Nevada, and they bought, or leased, our old City Hall, which is over off Carson Street, and gosh, I think 3rd Street or something like that, 2nd Street. So Tony Hsieh decided to come down to the downtown area, and with him, now he's got a heart for tech industry and everything else like that, and bless his heart, he's just brought in like $900 million or something like that of his own cash, and he said, hey, we are going to try to make Las Vegas the next Silicon Valley. Okay, so what he's been doing is he's been bringing down his buddies to a couple of high-rise condo areas, renting out like the top floor of this one condo tower that's over nearly off of Fremont Street. It's actually next to the El Cortez. And he rented out like the top floor, and he's been inviting his buddies down. Okay, so he's been inviting his buddies down to start looking at Las Vegas as the next Silicon Valley. They've put together this big chunk of money. I think it's about $50 million these guys put together to do startup. They're doing startup capital for businesses. Well, awesome. You know, he's been doing an awesome job. He started about a couple of businesses. Each one of them, as we talked about this before, has had about I think on average they average about $250,000 a piece for these startup businesses, which has been awesome. Running a little low on funds, but all in all, he's been starting some great businesses. Well, the next thing that this guy's been working on, I don't know if you heard about this, but this was interesting. Have you heard about the container park that they're starting to put together? No? Okay, you know what storage containers are. There's big, like 40-foot by 12-foot or whatever it is. Big steel storage containers. Well, what they're doing is they're actually doing a master plan community with these storage containers. And they are going to build a storage container master plan community downtown. And I'm thinking to myself, you got to be kidding me. Now, I've seen these with people who are survivalists. Okay, survivalist people, they put them under the ground, and they're already modular, so you can, all you got to do is put a bathroom in it, if you'd like, or a refrigerator. But now what they're doing is they're going to set these things up as like a container master plan community, which is crazy if you ask me, folks. I mean, I've seen some of the artist conceptions of what it looks like, and this is it's one of the most incredible things that you've seen. But it's going to actually happen in the downtown corridor. Once again, Zappos, Tony Hsieh is going to try to put his thumbprint on the Las Vegas market. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Las Vegas needs something like this. I mean, we need somebody other than the Steve Wyns of the world to put their fingerprint on stuff. We need somebody other than like the Bugsy Siegels of this of America putting their thumbprint on Las Vegas. And the reason why I say that is because if you live by the casino, you'll die by the casino. We've had a lot of people come in and they say, hey, we want to diversify Las Vegas, but then they see that the money's really in casinos, and so they build another casino. But Tony Hsieh is saying, hey, guess what? That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to. He's got an internet company. He says, I see a lot of different things that are happening here in Las Vegas. And so I'm not going to bring in just a regular old thing. I'm going to bring in something that is going to be something totally different, and I like that, folks. I think it's probably one of the best things for Las Vegas that we have a Tony Hsieh. Bless his heart. As a matter of fact, let's all stand up and salute Tony Hsieh for what he's doing. So that's what's going on. I think they're starting to do groundbreaking here in the next couple of weeks, and literally in the next year or so, they're going to have this new thing that's going to be going on, the Container Alley. Maybe they'll, probably wonder what kind of footprint they're having, what kind of carbon footprint they're doing. but it's still be very cool. So, anyways. Hey folks, in our next segment, we're gonna talk a little bit about what NV Energy is doing here in Las Vegas and some of the top personalities that are been recognized in 2012. For those of you who are you're tuning in, this is This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. I'm the founder and the president of the Diversity Networking Group. Folks, if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, just go to DivNetGroup, DivNetGRP, or just kind of Google in there on Twitter, This Week on DNG Radio. Follow us on Twitter. Let us know what's going on. We want to acknowledge all the people in Japan that are listening to us, and Great Britain and all this other stuff. We'll be back in just a minute with another exciting segment of This Week on DNG Radio. Stay tuned. I'll be back in just Hey folks, and welcome back to This Week on DNG Radio. We're actually having a little bit of problems with our webcam, but you know what, folks, we're going to press forward, and hopefully you guys can see what we're doing here. And if, maybe in the next break we'll actually see if we can get the webcam up and rolling again. But anyways, hey, let's talk. In our last segment we were talking about Tony Hsieh and how Tony Hsieh is bringing the culture of Zappos downtown with this a city basically of containers. You know, we've also let's turn on to some other news that's going on, and this is actually from our stack of well researched information. Now, Million, this might be something that you live on which side of town? You're on the south end of town?
I'm in the northwest.
You're in the northwest. So this might, you probably remember this. Over, the center that's over off Lake Mead and Rainbow?
Yes.
Okay, the one that's got the bookstore in it. It's got the, what is it,
Yo's Borders and
yeah.
PetSmart, Best Buy.
Yes. Well, this is the story. Lenders are foreclosing on a Las Vegas shopping center. Did you hear about this?
No, I haven't.
No, this is pretty big stuff. Okay, and another high-profile commercial real estate foreclosure. Lenders are moving to seize. It's called the Rainbow Promenade Shopping Center. It's a 22-acre Kimco Realty managed property, and it is going into foreclosure. Because remember those PetSmarts and Petco and stuff like that were there. Well, Cost Plus moved out of there. Office Max moved out of there, and there was quite a other things that actually moved out of there. Now, still, I think Party City's still there, and the theater is still there.
Okay.
But out of the 228,000 square foot that's available, okay, 47,000 square feet of it is empty. So, like a quarter of the place is actually empty right now. So it's gone into foreclosure, which doesn't mean that the place is going to close down. It's just they're looking for another buyer for the place, because they really do need another buyer for the place. Now, I'm there often when I go to like the bookstore and stuff like that. There's a Barnes and Noble that's over there, and sometimes I go to the World Market that's over there. But I did not know that the place. I noticed that there was a place there. Sorry about that. There was a place there that I used to eat at, and I think it was called Super Salad. And Super Salad was a great place to go to, like after church or something like that. You'd go there and you'd have a great time. But one day my wife and I showed up over the place. It was gone. And so it's like, oh no, the place is gone. What are you going to do now? So you've got to, try to find another place. Folks, this is the climate of Las Vegas right now. We've really got to understand that there's certain things that are happening in Las Vegas that, even though we've got some great things that are happening, we've got a lot of businesses that are going out of town. But for every business that goes out, there's an upstart that is hoping that they're going to strike it rich in Las Vegas. One of those companies is a company called, and I'm going to give them a plug right now because I've actually worked with them a couple times, and so I want to pay them back for working with us over the Diversity Networking Group. And the name of the company is called Live Deals. And Live Deals is a mobile marketing company. And what they do is they actually help you as a business owner get your business on a mobile app so that you can actually, so people can find you on the internet. And they are opening up for like the second time over on the south end of the valley, over off of like Warm Springs Road. And they're opening up over there to try to, and they've got a call center over there. And I think at some point they're going to probably have about 100 people over there working to drum up business. And I'm so excited for them. I did some work with them yesterday, the last couple of days actually. And I'm excited for them because they are moving forward. So when we hear stories about foreclosures and businesses going out of business, and we're going to see them, and we're going to see them all over the place, we've got to understand that for every business that goes out of business, or every enterprise that goes out, that there's always somebody that's going to replace them. Oh, just dropped my glasses here. I hope you can find me. But we need to continue just to press forward as business owners and continue to make things happen here. So there was something else that was in the newspaper, in the news, and this one actually relates to NV Energy. Now, NV Energy, for those of you who don't know who NV Energy is, NV Energy supplies about 90% and for those of you who are on the webcam, this is probably the first time you ever saw a Million, but that was Million who just came over and picked up my glasses.
That's a handsome one.
Yeah. Did you guys know he's a Hall of Famer? He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame. That's right. So for those of you who didn't, that you got your first glimpse of a Hall of Famer, and there's no charge for that one. The next one is a charge for it. There's no charge this time. NV Energy supplies 90% of the power to Nevada. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but NV Energy has been installing what they call smart meters all over the valley. Now, I think there's like 22 million people who live, in the whole, or 22 million accounts that they have. It's a huge amount of accounts that they actually have. And NV Energy has put in these smart meters, and people have, you've had people on both ends of the spectrum say, hey, we like them, we don't like them, At this point, there's really been no definitive answer found for, people to be really upset about it, other than the fact that their wallets are a little thinner. Okay? Now, that is something that you can say if you've got a meter that's been put on your home as a result of NV Energy's smart meters, then you know that your power bill has gone up. Okay, so what do these smart meters do? This is what they do in a nutshell. There are peak hours and there are off-peak hours for using energy in Las Vegas. And what these smart meters do is they can tell when you are at home. And if you are at home during those peak hours, they charge you more for the energy, right? Wow, how did they figure that out? So it's not, and that's what drives me crazy, I guess, is that they put these on your home and they say, okay, if you use this energy during the hours of, like, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when everybody gets home to like 8 o'clock, then we're going to charge you more for you using that energy. And so you can imagine how people have said, we don't want this thing on our house. Don't get it on. Just leave me alone. I don't want it on my house. I like my old analog meter. I don't want this digital meter. I want my old analog meter because basically I don't want to get charged any more than I have to be. And it's like one of those old sayings that says, hey, if it was great enough for Granddad, it's good enough for me. So I want Granddad's analog meter on my house. I don't want the new thing. Leave me alone. Well, NV Energy has, they've done a couple of things that have driven us crazy here in Las Vegas. We love them, don't get me wrong, we love them because they are business owners. But as a consumer, I don't want them near my house. Just leave me alone. Stay away from my house because I don't want to pay more for energy just because I use it. Now, what happened, I think this happened last summer, or this summer past, is NV Energy and also the Las Vegas Valley Water District basically said, hey, would you guys please cut back on your energy usage and your water usage because we have brownouts and because we live in the desert and that kind of stuff. So we don't want you to use as much water. So what did the people of Las Vegas do? We stopped using it. We stopped using energy. We stopped using water. And as a result of that, our consumption went down and it backfired. Because both of those companies came back, NV Energy and the Las Vegas Valley Water District, and they said, hey, as a result of you guys using less energy, less water and less water and less energy, we didn't make our net for the month. We didn't make as much profits, so now we're going to charge you a surcharge for us because we didn't make the money that we thought we were going to make. And in one instance, they said, well, what's going to happen is we project that in the future, more energy usage is going to be needed. And so we don't want your prices to go up too far in the future, like 10 years from now. So we're going to charge you more now. Which makes absolutely no sense. I think that they ought to figure out a business model. I wish I could figure out a business model where I could charge people for what I think my product is going to cost me in, let's say, 2020. Or something like that, and start charging people that now and see how that works out. Well, it probably wouldn't. So, so right now you've got some consumers who went to a meeting with the smart meter folks over at NV Energy, and they were just up in arms. They were having a fit about this, and so it is what it is. NV Energy, we love you, but please just leave us alone. Just keep supplying power. Because right now you've got 90%, you really have no competition in the market, and what happens with companies like that is somebody else will come in And guess what? They're probably going to, this is my prediction. In 5 years from now, there's going to be another company that's going to come into the Las Vegas market, and they're going to start supplying a competitive product that is going to compete with DNG. And there's going to be a battle. Okay. Hey, for those of you who are watching here on the webcam, and we've got it back up again. This is This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray, founder and the president of the Diversity Networking Group. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with another installment. We're going to talk about the top 12 business personalities of 2012, and we're going to find out why the Canadians are finding Las Vegas so interesting to buy products in. This is This Week on DNG Radio. We will be back in just a moment. Hey folks, and we are back. This is This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. Hey, we just invite you folks, follow us on Twitter, okay? Follow us on Twitter. Go to Twitter and then just kind of type in This Week on DNG Radio, or you can look for DIVNETGRP, like Diversity Networking Group, okay? DivNet Group, Diversity Networking Group. Follow us on Twitter. And just follow what we're doing. I'll tell you, we've got some great podcasts, and we've got some timely stuff that is coming up. That happens in Las Vegas. You never know. One of the things that we try to do in the Diversity Networking Group is we try to inform our business owners about things that are going on. What is the latest thing? What are the latest trends? And a lot of times when we tell people about what's going on, they go, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I was getting ready to move out of town, and now I find out that you guys are actually having something that really makes it worthwhile for me to stick around." And so that's what we do. So if you follow us on Twitter, we update the thing all the time, and I'm really and for 2013, making a special effort to really get involved in Twitter. I'm excited. We've got some great people who are following us. We found out just recently that we've got listeners from all over the globe that listen to this podcast, and I'm really excited. I thank you guys so much that you're finding out information, and you're finding some value in this show. You're finding out that there are some great things that are happening in Las Vegas, and the way you're finding it is through the Diversity Networking Group. Hey, let's talk just real quickly before we run out of time. I want to talk about the top 12 business people that are here in Las Vegas, and this is a great article that came out from Vegas Inc. And I just want to highlight a couple of people, especially the guy. His name is Steve Hill, and Steve Hill actually works for who's he working for? He actually works for Brian Sandoval's office, and what he works on is he works on economic development. Now this is cool because I'm all about diversity, and we've talked about this many times before about Las Vegas needing to diversify our economy. And this is probably one of the most important things that we need to do as an economy or as a city is get off of. It's kind of like getting off the gold standard, to diversify. We don't want to be off the gold standard. We actually want to go back to the gold standard, but we want to get off of the casino standard. Okay, which means that everything that you see in Las Vegas is basically focusing around the casino industry. Printers, people who do laundry, people who do all kinds of things, all cater to the casinos, and that's why it makes it kind of tough for people to break in any new business, because if it's not focusing on the casinos, it makes it tough. But this guy Steve Hill is working on bringing in new businesses, and these are some of the kinds of businesses that he's working on. He's working on, the aerospace industry, big time. We've got a guy who's actually, what's the name of that guy? I was out in Henderson, and now he's up off of, Craig Road. I forgot the name of the company, but they are actually, it's almost like a Boeing plant that they've got out there. I'll remember in just a minute. But the guy has a huge aerospace installation here in Las Vegas. I mean, I don't know if you knew this. This guy's a billionaire, and he brought a hub to Las Vegas. Oh, and before I let this thought leave me, did you know that they actually, the government or the defense just came out with some kind of space? It's a new spacecraft that they just launched it like yesterday. You didn't hear about this? This was interesting, because it's a super secret vehicle that the Defense Department has been working on, that they just launched successfully, and they just reported about it today. So as soon as I find out some more information on that, maybe I'll tell you about it next week. But anyways, let's go back to Steve Hill. Steve Hill works for the governor's office, and he brings in industries like aerospace, business IT ecosystems, okay, which is big time. We need IT people. Clean energy, okay, and we probably talk about solar and green energy, or here in Las Vegas it might be yucca plants or something like that. Health and medical services, logistics, and operations. Now, this is one of the interesting things about logistics, and logistics is all about transporting stuff back and forth. Getting things here and there. In Las Vegas, it was proposed by, I think it was Rory Reid, Harry Reid's son, that we become the largest storage facility servicer in the United States because of our dry climate. Now, up north, not here in Las Vegas, but a little further up, Elko, that kind of stuff, there are huge plots of land that could be turned into large storage facilities, and we would be ideal because we are very dry. We've got a super dry climate here in Las Vegas. And so, you know, those are the kind of things. So he's trying to bring in, Steve Hill's trying to bring in some logistics and operations people. Mining, of course, materials and manufacturing and tourism, entertainment and gambling, of course, okay? So Steve Hill is one of our top 12 personalities. We also have Pat Mulroy. Of course, she's with the Las Vegas Valley Southern Nevada Water Authority, and she basically sells all the water that we have here in Las Vegas. But she's been doing an awesome job in her position. There's also a lady by the name of Phyllis James, okay, and we'll get to Michael Yakira in just a second. And we all know who Michael Yakira is. That's right, he is the CEO of DNG Energy, and we talk about him all the time. But that's who he is, Michael Yakira. But Phyllis James, let's talk about her just a second, okay? Phyllis James is actually, what does she do? She's the Vice President of Diversity over at MGM Resorts, okay? And she is the Chief Diversity Officer over there. And this is very interesting. Her job is to diversify the executives and the staff of the MGM. And she has succeeded in a big way. She says about 63% of the company's 61,000 employees are minorities. Okay, 63% of them. Okay, 38% of the supervisors are minorities, and 40% of them are women. Okay, this is amazing what this lady has done, and she's really just gone to great lengths to make sure that that her company is diversified. And so we want to put our hats off to Phyllis James, because that's what she's done. Excuse me. Because here at the Diversity Networking Group, we're all about diversification. One of the things that we've told people before, and for those of you who are watching the webcam right now, you can see that I'm a very handsome Jamaican man. That we are really into diversity in the business market, whether it be in employment or entrepreneurship. We are really into diversifying the whole mix and educating business owners and getting them out there in the public and saying, go out there and do your thing. And so Phyllis James, you're doing an awesome job. So we applaud you for that. The last person we're going to talk about here is Michael Yakira. Okay, Michael Yakira, once again, and I've met Michael Yakira before, and he is the CEO of NV Energy. And what he has done for the company is he has brought their profits through the roof, folks. And it's just an amazing amount of, put it this way, it paid $111 million in dividends. That's a lot. That's a lot of money to the shareholders. And part of it was probably those smart meters that we were talking about in the last segment. And we don't begrudge anybody to make money at all. And so so Michael Yakira has done his job to make NV Energy as profitable as it possibly can be. For those of you who are just tuning in just now, this is This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. I'm the founder and the president of the Diversity Networking Group. Hey, if you'd like to get a hold of us, folks, you can do it in several different ways. One is you can follow us on Twitter. And we really encourage you to follow us on Twitter. Just go to DivNetGroup and you can follow us on Twitter, or you can just kind of Google us on Twitter. You can follow us all you want on there. You can find us on Facebook at the Diversity Networking Group on Facebook, or you can go to our website, which is diversitynetworkinggroup.com, and that's just with one G, diversitynetworkinggroup.com with one G. You can find out all about us, or you can email me at diversitynetworkinggroup@gmail.com. Find out all about us and what we're doing. 2013, I'll tell you folks, is going to be super incredibly ambitious for us. We are moving into a different realm completely, and so next year, 2013, is going to be incredibly huge. Not only are we going to be doing more in line of like the edge training and stuff like that, But we're going to be doing things that, well, maybe I just won't go into it now. I don't really have time to do it justice. But if you'd like to know more about what we're doing in the Diversity Networking Group, I really encourage you, email me. And email me at diversitynetworkinggroup@gmail.com, or that's just with 1G, or you can find us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, folks. It's the wave of the future. It's the best way to get a hold of us and find out what we're doing. Or you can go to our website at diversitynetworkinggroup.com and find out. There's a calendar on there. You can find out what's going on with all the folks there. In a couple of weeks, we're going to actually have some great guests here on the show. So you'll be able to find out what's going on there too. Hey, I want to thank you folks and our people who are all around the nation and of course around the world listening to us via podcast. I want to thank Millian Quinteros over here at the City FM. You can find out more information about him if you go to thecityfm.com. This has been Sherman Ray, and this week on DNG Radio. We will see you next week on Wednesday at 10:30. Same bat time, same bat station. We'll see you later. Thanks a lot.